morning.
God bless you. Pastor Michelle, along with my husband, Pastor Waylon Gibson. Happy holidays. We greet you in the name of Jesus. We know that He is the reason for the season. A lot of people say they aren't in the holiday mood, but you got to give God glory and praise for all the wonderful things that He's doing. It could be another way, and we thank God that it's not another way. We know that He is still yet blessing us every day we wake up. We're able to breathe and have our being, and we have to give God glory and praise for that. It may not be what you want it to be, but it is all God and all glory that you can give to Him, because He is such an awesome God. And things are happening, but you have to not lose faith and not lose hope on what God can do and will do through you. In this season, use what God has told you to do and be a blessing to others. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to be out and give clothes away. Many people didn't come by, but who came, they did get blessed, and we thank God for that, because it's all about giving and giving of yourself, giving of your time, and I thank the ones that came to be blessed, that you could come get, and hopefully we'll help with the Christmas giveaway too, because another ministry wants. We're asking for clothes, so I was like, I'm gonna try to clean out the back room with all the stuff
Thank you.
when she comes. So,
Yes, praise the Lord.
what does that mean?
I said, say thank you. It's like, good, that's great. I'm glad that finally the clothes are going to have a nice new home. And I don't have to discard and toss away or give away a different way. But it's going to be in a nice way that you like. God answers prayers.
Yes.
I just wish He would be more on my schedule, but it works out. It works out.
Nope, your schedule is not His schedule.
Yeah, I wasn't arguing. I was talking to some family members after the funeral, and they were talking about God is always on time. I was like, that's a matter of perception and perspective. I said, because when I put in my request and I give, this is the deadline when this thing needs to be handled and accomplished, it usually doesn't work out that way. So to me, walking it through.
He knows what we need when we need it. So
Yes.
sometimes when we feel like it is a must for us,
Because it is a must.
and God wants you to be patient. He wants you to be, I encountered somebody this weekend,
I
this
teach
week,
school for a living.
and they were like trying to rush me, and I was like, sugar, when you get a moment or you get time that you can come and sit down and really talk with me, because I'm in the midst of working right now. You're not gonna push me beyond my limits. I was like, so you have to learn how that everything ain't on your time. And with the older generation, dealing with my father and dealing with other elderly people, they feel like you supposed to jump to the ceiling no matter how high to get whatever it is that they want when they ready for it and how it's gonna be. And it's like, no ma'am, no sir, I can't do it all, and I'm not Superwoman. You're not Superman. It ain't gonna happen like that, Captain. I just have to be like yesterday. He kept calling me, and I'm like, Daddy, I'm at work. And then when I left work, I'm at church. I was like, ain't Waylon sitting in the house?
No, he was not.
I was like, and Waylon,
See, that could be voluntold to me to get stuff. I got to come up.
if Waylon at the house, why are you calling me to bring you some gas? I can't. I'm at the church.
I am not at the house. I am not there.
So it's just learning the temperature, praising God that your parents are still here. But I have to tell him often, Daddy, I'm one person. I can't do everything, and I'm not going to kill myself trying to do everything. You got other people that's in your life. You can ask them if they willing, they'll help.
That don't matter. When they get focused on one person, especially older people.
Oh yeah.
They get focused on that one person, and it's like I don't care. I'm like, it's like you got like 5 other people. I need you to such and such, and I'm like, your son just called you and asked you for something. Why you didn't tell him that? Nah, I need you to go such and such. And I'm like, you know what? But I have to keep, thank God, you know, my mom is still here. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, I'm the only one that's left that he can depend on. It's not unfortunate, but that's the he don't feel like nobody else can do anything but Shell. You know, he'll even tell the doctors and stuff, don't talk to me, talk to my daughter. My daughter be the one that handle everything. And I'm like, Daddy, I can't handle everything. Or call my son-in-law, call my grandson, and we looking like, Dad, you got to give us a heads up on whatever it is. And he was like, I don't know what them people be talking about. I be like, oh, Lord, forgive me. Like, help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. But it's like, wow. Wow, you know, it's a blessing to still have your parents. But you got to have patience. You got to have wisdom when you deal with them. Because if you make them feel like you're taking away their decision to do things, it's a battle. You have to have wisdom and knowledge on how to finagle them into thinking it's their idea and not yours.
I wouldn't even call it finagling. it's the controlling of the choices. Mm-hmm. I can do this thing for you, or I can do this thing for you. Which one would you like? Mm-hmm. Well, I know I can do this for you, or I can do this. Which one would you like? And as I teach my students, sometimes it's learning to control the choices. Mm-hmm. And based on how you start to navigate your choices, because they're young and they're growing, it's then if this is usually your choice, then I'll set up a system where you can make your choice whenever you feel like it within the grounded parameters. When you're dealing with elders, they don't want to always go by your guidelines, your parameters. They'll say, okay, yeah, we'll do it this way, and that works good for the moment, until it's something they want to do that goes against, that's going to cross the line of your parameters or their own doing, such as, wanting to go and swipe credit cards, stuff like that, and go get stuff. And it's, wait a minute, what you're doing, like, what are you doing? Did you have to really have it right now? Because sometimes they feel like, I got to get it done right now. And you're not running your money the way you're thinking. And so that's where, like with him especially, I sometimes go, what your bills looking like? I don't know, she out running them. Yeah, but how much money does it cost you to live? Like, I ask him those kind of questions because I want him to be aware that, as he would put it, I ain't the king and I ain't Trump. I don't got no big pockets of money. So you need to make sure, and these are his words, like, so you got to make sure that you got your stuff in order and you can get it when you can. I was like, yeah, so maybe if you need a battery for your truck, you say something. And don't just run to go get it today because you feel like you got to have it today. Where are you going today? Well, I was going to go cut the grass. Whose grass? Because it's...
He can have his cash in his pocket.
So he got cash in his pocket. So that's part of his. I gotta go. I think it's our yard, and I think he's still doing one other person's yard.
But see, what he was trying to tell me was, he showed up Monday talking about, oh, I need to pay James, and I know you got $100. I said, you don't know what I got. I don't got no $100 on me. I'll write him a check out your account, but don't be telling me. I said, Daddy, I don't keep money on me like that. What makes you think? I was like, well, can't you move it out my account to your account? But somebody still got to go to the bank to get the money. That it don't magically appear.
Right.
I was like,
but it's also working with and talking to, because sometimes, and I've talked to other people, elders will create problems because so they have something to do. Like, they're creating the problem so they can have something to solve. It's amazingly listening to people talk about other elders and listening to some elders who still do stuff like, so you're creating the problem so you can solve it? I was like, if that ain't Trump, I said, but I'm gonna leave that alone, because they're the same age group. So they start to, you create a problem and then say, see how I fixed it? But you You created that problem. And it's just things that they'll do that you have to navigate and manage. It becomes increasingly difficult when, for people who don't have a support system or a plan or like a team, and you're trying to work and then the team is getting slack, I gotta go, what are you doing? Where you at? Did you go buy a check? What is your role again? Because sometimes you got to give people, this is your job. Every whatever day that day, if anything jump off, you got, this is your day to fix and handle and sit and talk and laugh. And if ain't nothing going on that day, great. But if something pop up, then this is what you do. Because sometimes people will tell one thing to one person, and then you'll get it
things to
everybody else, and you work with your team. If you're working by yourself, then you got to really manage. Well, not even on blindside. You just have to learn to manage and try to do your best you can. You keep things above board, and then also have some unplugged moments. You have to kind of schedule your unplugged times, and you can't always do that, but you try to say, hey, can you go and sit, and can you go and visit? Why don't y'all go somewhere? Call your sisters up, call your brothers up, call somebody. I'd be like, call Miss Wilson, call your brother Joe. Y'all go sit somewhere. Y'all go listen stick it.
They can't. They don't get along.
Here's $20. Go listen stick it on. Like, y'all go to listen stick it. And it's sometimes it's just we're gonna go do that. You keep talking and sharing it with them, and eventually they may go do it. And when they go, so okay, they together for a little while. You get some unplugged time, and so those things, and then they also get some other people talking with them, their age, that they can kind of shoot the breeze with and whatever. My grandmother used to lament the fact that she was the only one left of her siblings and her friends. She's like, it's just me. Don't nobody understand. I mean, because I would talk with her, but I don't. It's nothing like, say, remember when we were kids and we did, like, she couldn't tell me those. She couldn't have those because I don't remember. Like, I wasn't there. So it's those kind of moments. And the kids today, because they get older and then they start worrying about the next generation, the young people today. And I'm the young person to them. So I'm going like, so you calling us trash? And he's like, no, not you, but the young people, they don't listen, and they don't this. And I go, yeah, they don't listen. Yeah,
So like children, they need play dates?
Yes. Yes, they need play dates.
They need to be at least around somebody that.
How you push them out?
They need play dates without them thinking it's a play date.
Yeah, I'm sitting here because I was like, okay, for your birthday, you get your sister-in-laws together and your friends, and I'm gonna send y'all to the beach for the weekend. Blah blah blah. And she looking like, I was like, you doing better. I think if you go out for a little bit, just do some things, it'll help you.
She's dependent upon you now.
And I'm sitting here like, if y'all, because they used to go on lunch dates and stuff, and she can't because they want to go over to the place off of, I can't think of Garner's Ferry down here.
Epicurean?
Epicurean.
Okay.
Her sister-in-law, my aunts want to go. And I was like, all right, you want to go? Let me know. Just I'll give you my card, blah, blah, blah. Y'all just go have a nice time. And she's like,
Because if you go with her, she'll go.
No, but she don't want to go. That's the whole point.
I know you don't want to go, but that's what she's dependent upon. Because, see, whenever I take my daddy to the doctor, and the doctor's talking to him, he's looking at me like, what's she talking about? And I'm saying, but Daddy, we in the room together. You hear her. You comprehend. And so then I have to just break it down for him. And she was like, oh, he's very dependent upon you. And I was like, yeah, because he know I ain't going to hurt him. He don't understand. He knows that you're his doctor and he's been with you for years. But he knows his child is not going to, like, tell him anything to lead him down the slippery slope. So I understand that, because then she was trying to tell him some medicine. And I said, well, ma'am, this is what I'm seeing. My daddy don't have the problem that y'all been giving him the medicine from. Can you please take him off that medicine? Because I think that's what's causing a lot of problems. Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, what she said. And I was like,
be proactive. I want her to learn to, like, okay, listen.
Or ask one of her sisters to pick her up and take her with her.
Because, like you say,
Yeah, she depended on
they
you.
they bump heads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
all of
even
them.
though they love each other.
All of them.
They
They
fight.
bump heads, and she like, don't. She get on my,
But that's probably in a
Get on my nerves.
off the wall kind of way. That's probably what she needs.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that from the perspective of be around your siblings, because your siblings will talk to you in a way that as the child you might not be able to say. You'll say it, but it's one thing. Like with you and your dad, you talk to him one way, but then he's like, and then here comes his brother Joe and start talking trash to him. Then all of a sudden, Joe said this and Joe said that. Then he starts to moving and doing stuff. It's the same thing, but it's his brother.
Yeah.
And so there are things that a sibling can say to each other in a way that, like, you just together. What's wrong with you? You've been sitting around here doing that and whatever. Then all of a sudden, it's that years and years and years of, well, they probably right, but I ain't gonna admit it, but they get on my nerves. Same thing with his sister. It's something about, and that's why I say, it's probably a good thing. Maybe not for a whole weekend. Just go for a day. Or say, sisters, I need y'all to go to the house and sit. We'll look at her, get on her nerves. And just do that and then say, hey, next time we come by, we going to lunch. And I ain't taking no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Right. They may have a way to pull her out, whereas, because they're siblings. And so, what you going to do? You going to fight me? Whereas you might, Mama, why don't you go do? She's like, no, I don't want to do it. And they start to say, we got you. We're going to take care of you. We're going to just go to lunch. And then after lunch, we'll eat, we'll talk and laugh for an hour. If you want to go somewhere, I will take you. If not, we'll bring you right back to the house. It's that thing about siblings.
Yeah. I think I was asking my daddy, did he want to go to the senior center? And he was like, I ain't going to move people. So Tuesday, I think, if I don't have nothing planned, I'm just gonna ask. I'm picking him up and say, "Come on, let's go up here and see if you see somebody that you know. You might get to find somebody that you can fellowship with that will pull you out of just sitting around the house. Because the other day, Wednesday, I went over there. He was sitting in the house. It was so cold in there. I was shaking. I was like, "What's wrong? Why is it so cold in here?" And he was like, nose running. He's sitting there like, "I ain't cold." I'm like, "Well, I am." And I go, the heater on 66. I was like, what in the world? And, yeah, and Darius had cut it down because Darius like that he can't sleep at night with it hot. And he didn't turn it back up. And Dad was like, well, I don't mess with it.
No, that must be because she'll be in the house on the 20th, it's cold. And I'm looking at her like, they're going to thermostat right there. All you got to do is, do I turn it up and turn it down? See, it's getting to that point, and it's like, I'm trying not to get aggravated, because I'm like, you've been in a house all your life. You don't know in the winter you turn it up.
And you might just have people the little space heater. He got a space heater. I said, why you didn't plug that in?
Yeah. And
he was like, I ain't thought about that thing. And it was like, but if they spend more time alone, it's like they go into a dark place.
Yeah.
So you don't really want them to be.
You want them to be
alone a lot. So I work a lot and I don't have But his sister and his brother do go check on him. His nephew, they go check on him. But he's not to the point. They're not to the point that they need somebody to stay with them.
Right.
But they're not to the point that they need to be left alone.
She don't. But like, okay, so yesterday I have a great aunt. She's 95 in Orangeburg. So they had a celebration for her 95th birthday.
Oh, that's a blessing.
And I kept asking her, okay, do you want to go? Do you want to go? She said, yeah. She went. And she had a great, it is when she see people she hadn't seen and they were like, oh, Betty, you look good.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost a lot of weight. I know she's walking with the cane or whatever because I know they had some questions, but nobody said anything. But it looked like she was like, oh, Twana, they go your cousin, blah, blah, blah. That's such and such, that's such and such. And I was like, but sometimes it's like when I'm with her, like she don't move unless I'm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you can walk.
Remember,
a grown woman.
Once an adult and twice a child.
You an adult. Come on, Twana. And I'm like, Mom, come on.
Twice a child.
She want me to like holder and stuff like that. And I'm like, you can walk on your own. You know, you can make decisions on your own. You're an adult.
But they get back to
It's all right. It's all right.
they get back to the point of doing things, you know, like they kind of depend upon you, and so then you know, like sometimes it's one lady I do a hair at the nursing home, and she always be trying to tell me something. I said, "You're not the boss of me." I have to tell her, I said, "You ain't the boss of me." I said, "I'ma do it the way I'ma do it, but you can't boss me." And she just started laughing. I said, "Cause you think you the boss of me." I said, "But I gotta do it my way." Cause she tried to tell me how to push the bed she rolling in, and I'm like, I can't. This bed is not the beds are not easily to push, so sometimes I have to go a roundabout way to get her where I need to get her. And she's like, "Don't put me near the window." Well, the place I gotta go is near the window, and I'm like, but to the point where I have to just like, you know, like tell her, I have to assure her, I'm not gonna let you fall, I'm not gonna let you get hurt, and I'm not gonna let nobody take advantage of you. And I'm not gonna take advantage of you. So then she calms down. But it's like, you know, I have more patience for the elderly than I do for the children. And I'm like, Lord help me. Because I was like, for the children, I just want to snatch them up and do, you know.
I
But
don't
they're
have
in
patience
kind
for
of like the
adults.
same state, right?
Yeah.
Mentality, and, you know.
Yes.
And
Yes, I don't have patience for adults.
trying to get used to that.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
You have to think quick on your feet with them.
yeah. Because sometimes I'm trying to pull it out of her. Like, okay, what do you want to do? You know, okay, well, I want to do such and such. Okay, then how do you make the steps to do?
You just have to, in the moment, it has to be in the moment, because you know, one minute they doing well, and the next minute they can flip the whole strip on you, and you'll be like, well, you just, because one lady I told her, I said, "Hey, how you doing?" She said, "Oh, they took me to the White House." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, that's good." And then the next time I say, "Well, how was the White House?" "I ain't been in no blank White House. What did you talk about?" I was like, okay, well, then I changed it to another subject. So you have to learn how to like be quick on your feet. And go with the moment that they're in, because if they start having mind issues, you have to, like, you'll cry because you feeling like I'm losing my parent.
Right.
But if you stay with them if you take them to a moment and they snap back and they be like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, me and you was just having that conversation, baby. No, maybe
But I
like,
want to fuss because sometimes I think, because it's like, now it's something, I'll ask her a question, right? And we'll talk about something. And sometimes it was worse. Because one time I swear, I was like, I got to put you in place because you don't remember nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I started, like, do you know my name? So it got better after she had chemo and stuff like that. So she had some little issues now and then. But it's some things I'm like, wait a minute, how do you remember that?
oh, they remember the old one.
How do you remember that?
They remember the stuff that stuck out to them,
Well-
but they don't remember in the moment.
Well, because also remember, there is your different parts of your brain. So medicines or sicknesses affects different parts. There's your short-term memory, and then there's the embedded long-term things that we've had since childhood. Everything kind of gets stored, but the ability to recall the information, recall details and facts, is sometimes what they miss. Studies have shown that people who have studied and deal with people who, not that y'all parents have this, but when they deal with people who have like Alzheimer's and things of that nature, and they become very forgetful, they've learned that, and they tell people, instead of trying to force the person to remember something they're not remembering, allow them, just be with them in the moment, because you it's easier to kind of go with where the water's flowing right now, and kind of be in that moment and just have some conversations, because the person who you're looking for is still there. But at the moment, something's missing, something whatever. And they showed this video of, and it was actually a TV show, I think, or a movie. This man's wife was in the home, She had Alzheimer's. It was the anniversary. He went to go see her. Well, she was in bed with somebody else. And she had lost all memory of ever being married, ever having had kids. And so while she's in this new environment, that's how she's like, oh, this is my person, this is whatever. So the doctor was like, look, she's got companionship. And I know that hurts and it's confusing. He's like, but what do you want to do? Because you're going to try to make her remember that she's married to you? Or do you want her last days in this session, that's a place that she's in, to be comfortable? Which would you want? Because you put her here for her to be comfortable. And he had to make some hard choices, some decisions. Never divorced her. Just let her be happy in her old age, knowing that the memories of who she was is not there. Those are sometimes the hard things that people have to deal with. In the midst of that, though, I always tell people, make sure you're checking the side effects of medications. And you're checking what are their vitals looking like? What are the numbers and things like that? Are there any deficiencies? Because sometimes having a low deficiency in something starts to mess with, especially as we get older, starts to mess with your ability to recall information, your ability to feel confident in going to do something. I know for men, if their testosterone levels get too low, then they lose drive. They don't want to go do anything. They don't want to whatever. And then they get to the place where, if they are married, all we do is just sit here. We just roommates now at this point, this whatever. And it messes with them. And so when those levels get low, or if the estrogen levels get too high, then they start kind of morph into someone different because things are out of balance. So it's not the sake of have them tested every month, but it's just being aware of things. And then saying that when you do have these doctor's visits or you're looking at certain medicines, like for you, taking him off certain things, he's spried back. Yeah. He's talking trash and this and the third and whatever. I can kind of tell, like you're all right, you take your medicine like you're supposed to, like you missing something, because he'll start to kind of walk and lean a little bit or stumble a little bit. It's like, why you leaning while you walk? He's like, I'm leaning while I walk. Yeah, why you leaning while you walk? What's going on? Why you bent over? You all right? And he's, yeah, I'm all right. I said, okay. And then he won't stay. He'll go home. And I think he'll go home and take his medicine. Then next time I see him, he's doing better. So those are the things to kind of keep track of, because some things is meant to help. And other stuff is just temporary to help get you through. If they have to be on something long term, you have to ask the question, what are the long-term effects of this medicine?
And research it too for yourself, because like I said, they had him on metformin, and I was like, a metformin is not a answer to diabetes. I was like, it's gonna be his diet and other things. I was like, so I don't want him on metformin no more. And she was like, but he needs it. No, ma'am, he don't need that. And then he's on he takes a shot, and she was like, well, give him a long dose in the morning and da-da-da-da-da. But now he's waking up and his numbers are in the hundreds. And it's like, okay, hopefully we can get that A1C down to normal. And so,
if you can give me eat.
Yeah, got it. If you keep food there, he gonna eat whatever he find, and he gonna eat 3 to 5 meals a day. And so I'm like, and I said, why is he on blood pressure medicine when his blood pressure is like 115/73 or 59? He doesn't need the blood pressure medicine. Well, we'll wean him off of it. And I was like, okay, you ain't got to. I'll take him off of it, because it's like he been on blood pressure medicine for so many years that everything is going south. And I said, and then this has a diuretic, so that's making him go to the restroom even more. So she was like, well, I'll cut it in half and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and every time you go back, they're asking, are you still giving him this? No. I tell them straight up, no, I'm not.
No, we're not doing that.
No.
We're not doing that. And that's another thing, because even with my checkup, they were, you're still on this and this? Right now, I'm taking nothing. You're not taking anything? I'm not taking nothing. Are you still taking multivitamin? Yes. I switched to multivitamin, but I'm taking some, yes, but no, I'm not on any of these prescribed medications. Well, what about the acid reflux? I'm not taking that. It's like I didn't like it, and she was. So what do you do with it? It's like this is gas, burp, drink a little ginger ale. It's like I burp it out, go for a walk, sit there and bear it. And the doctor made the statement, and I looked at him. He knows I was angry with him. He's like, oh, you got a high pain tolerance. It's like, no, I don't. It's like, no more than you. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and the nurse looked at me, and I'm going, let me calm down, because I need him to read these charts. Like, let me calm down, because I'm getting ready to go off. Because for me, the stereotype is black people have a high pain tolerance. That's an old slavery thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm going like, don't say. And I think they kind of caught that statement rubbed me the wrong way. Because he got, all right, Mr. Gibson, so we're going to go ahead and look here and this whatever. I'm like, thank you, appreciate you. And we just kept talking, and he's like, yeah, everything looks good and we're good. So I'm not going to recommend any prescriptions for you. And I say, thank you. And then the nurse was, would you have taken it? If he prescribed something, yes. If I needed it, I say, if I need something, yes. It's like, but if I don't need anything, I don't want to take anything. And she said, oh, I said, that's why I quit doing the acid reflux. Because I'm under the impression that as I heal, it gets better, right? She's like, yeah, it should. I said, okay, then. So if things don't, if I'm on something that masks the symptoms, how will I know if I'm healing properly?
Yeah. And that's another thing is, I've had several people come to me, and they were like, you need to go to this certain spot to get some herbs and stuff for your husband. And I was like, no, I'm not going that place. I'm not, no. And they was like, yeah, because he people got countless testimonies. And I said, that's wonderful for them. I said, but every time I see this person, I get spooked out. I'm not going there. I was like, no. I said, no. I said, they was like, well, he got soursop, he got this, that, and the other. And I said, we ordered online and it gets sent to the house. I said,
I
but
now drink the tea.
I was like, but I'm not going into a place that
you don't trust the source.
No, I say the place is just freaky to me, and I was like, and I say, and I'm not against herbalists, because these people that can't tell you how to put stuff together. I say, but I'm not. I was like, this person almost operates in like dark magic to me. It looks like dark magic, and as they're talking to you, they're giving you wisdom, and then they start foully cursing. And I'm like, now how you gonna give me wisdom, and then you turn around and you saying the big 12-letter, 14-letter words, and you're saying, you're talking against another race because the Africans are the only true race and are the only true healers. And it's like,
You start manifesting.
I'm like, listen, even if you feel like somebody ain't giving you the proper information, it's a way to disseminate the information that you may not think that they are doing it right. And I was like, you gotta stop and think. If everybody is the devil and you the savior, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Your outlook on life or what you're giving out ain't that powerful, because you're trying to manipulate and control. So the thing is, stop telling people that they have, that you got the power. You don't have the power. And I've seen countless. I really don't like watching the person, but I like listening to the testimonies. I listen to the testimonies, and the people are saying, I walked in, it done ended. It ended on Facebook.
I see that.
Mm-hmm. I walked in and you gave me he was able to call out their sicknesses. He was able to to give them a remedy for what they were going through. And he do the same thing I'm giving people: soursop, moringa, and what is it? And he got some stuff called
Turmeric.
Red X and turmeric and stuff. I take all this stuff naturally. I take it every day. And I tell people I'm heavy on the supplements because supplements have helped me greatly. Because like I said, I don't want to be dependent upon the doctor's medicine, and it's a natural remedy that I can get healed with. And so these people are saying that, okay, the guy said I had stage 3 cancer. He said, and the doctors were saying everything was looking dim. I walked in, he told him what to take. He gave me the moringa, he gave him the soursop, he gave him the red eggs. And he was like, he told him how to take it. And the man said the following week he went to go get the scan for the cancer, and the doctor said, I can't find the cancer. And so the man was like, whatever this stuff is, whatever these herbs and stuff that this person gave me worked. And he was like, he said that cancer is a fungus, not that cancer is, you know how like we think cancer is just something that takes over your body. He said it's a fungus, and if you sugar feeds the fungus, so the more sugar you eat, it makes it grow worse.
The more refined sugar you eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something about that. I'm not to break you up though, but when we would go to SCOA for the treatments, it was donuts, cakes.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Cookies.
Yep.
What you want to drink? Juice,
Soda. Yep.
And I kept saying, and I was like, well, I thought sugar feeds cancer. Why is all the sweet stuff, like Miss Nancy and them, on that side, Dr. Merritt's side, they had a whole bowl of candy that all the patients could come and get. And I was like, but this don't make sense.
But listen, when I first took Waylon, when he went to SCOA, they used to have electrolytes. They used to have they had teas, and they had and all that stuff just disappeared all of a sudden. Because I would go there and get me some electrolytes, and I would go get me out because I was in on my health journey. So I would be like, I left my electrolytes in the car, so I would give me some electrolytes. So I asked Leah, I said, what happened to the electrolytes? And she was like, oh, they just don't get it. It just depends on what the people give. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so to hear that, and see, we were told many years ago that sugar feeds lots of diseases. And so when I went on the keto and I cut out the refined sugars or even the natural sugars, because they say certain fruit make your sugar feeds sugar to your body, so it turns into glucose. So then as it turns into glucose, your body kind of like just feeds it and eats it, and then your body reacts to it. I started this, I had brought the thing a while ago, milk thistle. And I was like, it done sat there for about 6 months, and I forgot about it. So the other day when I cleaned out some of the medicines and I was cleaning up stuff, and I found it, and I said, milk thistle, what about this? And I said, and so then I went back and I researched what milk thistle does. And I've been taking it this week, and all my sugar numbers been 100 all day long, every day. And I'm like, And I was like, that's the only thing different that I did was take the milk thistle. And then I started going back and I started looking at it, and it was like, it helps you with estrogen. It helps you with your blood sugar so that your blood sugar doesn't spike. And it helps you with, I think they say mental clarity. And I was like, wow. And I just started Monday taking it.
It's good for your liver too.
Yeah, and it's a liver detox. And they said that's why you have the big belly, is because your liver is struggling to detox all the toxins out of your body. So that's why at the salon I sell supplements, because I want people to be healthy. I don't want us always running to,
Some of that milk filter.
yeah, I don't always want us running to the doctor for everything. Even like with the GLP, I got a GLP supplement, and my client, she said she got sick. And the doctor told her, "Oh, that's what's making your blood pressure high." And she was like, "No, I don't believe that." She said it stopped. She said I stopped the sugar cravings. She said I stopped the hunger. She said my blood. She said my A1C went from a 6.0 to like a 5.4. She said, and I just did not have those hunger pains. I did not feel, She said I'm feeling better. And she said, and the reason why my blood pressure was high, because when I was going to the doctor office, all those people were driving slow, and I was blowing my horn and telling them off. And she said, and then as soon as I got in the office, usually they let you sit down 5 to 10 minutes before they call you back. They call her straight back.
Right.
So her body did not get a chance.
She didn't get a chance to acclimate to her environment. Yeah.
And then
so
before
she's
she
gotta-
left, they took her blood pressure, and it was back to normal. But the doctor was trying to tell her, you need to get on blood pressure medicine.
Right.
And she was like, I'm not about to do that. She said, just because this one time I came into your office and you going to tell me.
Based on one visit.
Yeah.
But
Either several visits. And like I say, some people, Waylon, when he used to go, especially when he had to take the long treatment that day, his blood pressure will always be high, because it's like the white coat syndrome. Because he's frustrated because
I don't want to be here.
Yeah, and all night he's done talked about. Thinking about, I got to see him for 8 hours, and these people pump this junk in me, and and I really could be doing other things. I could be.
It wasn't just the doing other things. It was the day of the treatment. The treatment itself. Oh, I'm getting a flashback. It's not horrible. It's the days after. But then, as well as with my general doctor, she knew. She's like, "You all right?" I said, "Uh-huh." I said, I don't like coming to the doctor." And she's like, "Why?" I was like, "I don't know. Y'all just, something about y'all that just irks me." and she understands that. And so my blood pressure is like, "Okay, you got to sit down, you got to calm down, Mr. Gibson." I'm like, "I'm calm." And they take my blood pressure, and it be slightly elevated. And then the girl go, "Well, let me do it this way, and hold your arm up like this and relax a little bit." Then I get to laughing and joking with her. Like I said, at the end they will take it, and it's fine. And after a while, because I was used to going with them going the same spot all the time, and just getting checkups, I'm fine. And she would never tell me we're gonna pull blood. She would say, "Okay, now we're gonna pull your blood work." After the fact, because you tell my blood work and needles, now I want to fight. So she would give me a stress ball that I can hold to while I'm on my phone. That's why my phone, let me just be on my phone while they go ahead. And she's like, you good?" I said, "Mm-hmm." Just faster you're done, the faster we can get through this. And that was my thing. And one day she was like, "Why are you like not liking doctors?" And I was like, "I think it has to do with my mother, because she was always going to the doctor, always, as they said, always sick." So for me, it's just a thing of don't go to coming to the doctor is like I'm failing in some aspect of life. I was like, so I don't like coming to the doctor. So like, I don't mind needles, I just don't want them being stuck on me. And she's like, "Okay, I understand that." And then we kept going. You got to understand that the doctor's office is getting a snapshot of what you have going on at the moment. It is a read for the moment of where you are, what your body's communicating based on 3 months ago or 2 months ago. And they're also trying to navigate and ask you questions of, how are you feeling? Have you been having any new symptoms, any other discomforts coming on? That's why they're asking. They're trying to gain the blood work and the blood pressure and everything, temperature. Your weight gives them a snapshot of right now today. Your weight kind of talks about how you may be eating, which is why sometimes with people, they will say, well, based on how you're eating, this is what I'm recommending. Your things are too high. They'll say you need to come down from this, come down from eating this, eating that, eating this. But then they say, and to help you with this, we're going to medicate you with this to help bring those numbers down, because technically they're not, the likelihood of you actually coming off of the foods they just suggest you come off of is probably not going to happen for you, because most people, we do the same routine. Our eating habits are habits we have because of the culture we are in. If your family, if you come from a family that eats super healthy, and that is your thing, and you have a good understanding of foods and how foods work and what things to eat. If I wanted something sweet, what can I go eat? Versus go grab that honey bun, go grab that donut, go grab that sweet. This time of the year for me is very frustrating for trying to eat healthy, because everybody's having a party, wanting to bring your candy, wanting to bring your sugars, and I'm having to tell my students, because my students knew from the beginning of the years and from years past, I like all things Reese's Pieces. So now they want to go. I said, no. If you want to get me something, give me a $5 to $10 gift card to like a Kairos or a McAllister's, or I even take a Chick-fil-A, because Monet will devour that up. If you give me something like a Starbucks, Monet's going to devour that up.
Or your wife.
Yeah, or my wife. I was like, but those things would be a whole lot better than giving me 1,000 pieces of chocolate and candy like I used to get back in the day, because that's what's cool. Now I'm trying to be a little more clean. And when you talk to people like that, they say, okay, but this time of the year, everybody's having, like Friday, they had, we got snacks and things in the office, and we got this, and I'll walk past and I'll look and I'm going, let me grab this little healthy thing right here and some water. And if I felt like I've been really good eating during the week, I might grab something a little sweet and then drink a bunch of water, trying to down it. But even at school, because the lady would come back, she's like, you want some chocolate? And I'm like, no, you ain't supposed to have no chocolate. I was like, yeah, how you?
She had all kind of crazy snacks.
Yeah, you got you. But again, it's comfort, because we want you to feel well, because that's part of the mental part of it. It's not just about getting better. You want to feel better.
And like I asked, I said, what happened to the electrolytes? Because they had like a lot. They had like they would have teas, and they would have that, and because you could get coffee and everything, and they had it there. They had it, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. And so I said, somebody probably said, because when the nurse was telling Waylon something, I said, he need electrolytes, and he was like, I don't like the way they taste. You need electrolytes. And
then and they were
nasty,
so
but
salty.
They salty, but that's what you needed. If you can taste the salt, that means you're salt deficient. And until
I couldn't drink it.
Until you,
With the electrolytes?
Yeah, it's going to be salty. It's going to be salty, especially until you get hydrated. When you get hydrated, then it no longer tastes salty to you, because like I'll do the element. It's LMNT, and it's potassium. Potassium is sweet. Magnesium is bitter. But then you have potassium. You have potassium, magnesium, and salt. Now they say the less water you put in, the saltier it is. So you would take and put it in a 20-ounce bottle and sip on it all day. I put it in a 16-ounce and I drank it one time, and then I follow up with water. So then I can't stand to sip on something the same thing all day. I'm gonna drink it down, and you know what? It prevented me from having the cramping. It prevented me from feeling disoriented, because like sometimes when you get dehydrated, because you aren't drinking or you haven't drunk anything, you don't think you're dehydrated. But when you start feeling like sluggish and slow, especially with not eating carbs, if you're not eating carbs and your body is going through, you get kind of disoriented, and you get kind of like you start feeling so. Soon as you drink water, it's like life comes back into you, or you drink something that's gonna bring it back up. You be like, wait a minute.
You start to feel
so
better.
now I know, and then I'll eat cucumbers. I'll eat stuff that has water in it that's gonna bring me back up.
That's why I like a good salad.
And that's why I was telling I be telling my clients, I say, y'all think water hydrates you. Water does not. Water is going to force out what you got in you. And it's going to deplete your body even more. I was like, so you gotta add
water by itself, and this is what you start to learn. And you can go to don't go to WebMD. Just talk with your doctor, your physician. Ask them for places you can go, or go to any government site you want to go to. And it talks about, my point is, always go to a reputable source. And they'll talk to you about water, how the way you hydrate yourself is by having water in the foods that you eat. So in one sense, you want to eat your water. So that's why your salads, your grapes, your fruits, that's high in water content.
And the grapes, no, that's sugar. That's too much sugar for some people.
Yeah, for some people. Now, if you're diabetic, you gotta tweak some of the stuff that you can and can't eat. Whatever your situation is, you tweak what you can and cannot eat. But I'm just saying, these are things that, hey, they're high in water. They have water and juice in it, so that when you eat it, you're in a sense drinking your water. That's one reason why I have come back to loving iceberg lettuce, because it's basically water, and you get to eat your water. And you also, if you're going to drink water, a little bit of salt. The trick is put a little bit of pink Himalayan salt in your hand, lick your hand, and then start drinking your water. What the pink Himalayan salt combined with the water does is that something about it combines to help your organs digest the water and get water into itself. Drinking water is good, but know that, but also keep in mind that, like, if you drink a bottle of water and then soon after you got to go to the restroom, because that means it's flowing a lot, most of that water is flowing through you. So that's kind of the idea. If you need to flush out, drink a lot of water. If you want to hydrate, then you want to kind of be a little bit into a research of how to hydrate your organs and your body. Does that make sense? And so again, we experience stuff, we know it, because we'll start drinking water, and water is good because it helps you regulate temperature. You get it, your body, your intestines can digest all that good stuff as well, and it'll get to you eventually. But you don't go from being dehydrated to hydrated in a matter of a few minutes to an hour drinking a one bottle of water. Hydration is something you have, so that most of it just And so then I gotta go to the bathroom, gotta go to the restroom, and that's why people say, "Oh, that water had me go, or that drink, or that vegetable, that soup, whatever, have you gone to the restroom?" Yeah, because you're probably dehydrated. You probably needed to detox out, and then when your body starts to know that it's going to consistently get some water, it starts to say, okay, I'm not going to be in a deficit. We're not trying to store away and survive. We can let this stuff go, because your body goes into, like when you fast, your body goes into, ain't no food, we got to store. It starts storing up, because so you get these fatty pockets. But if you know that if your body knows that, oh, we're going to eat again, like this is not the only meal of the day, we're going to eat later. Your body might say, I think I just want a little bit of, give me an omelet and some toast and I'm good. And it's a small little meal for brunch or something like that. But if I'm feeling like, man, this is the only meal I'm going to get for the day, like for some of us growing up on a Sunday dinner was the meal. If you ate at 1, I got to eat as much as I can. and your body's like, we gotta store this and as much as you can because you ain't nobody cooking at the house. This is the meal. And so then it's store. And then after you stay stored so much, then the body goes to sleep to guarantee that you're going to store this food into some fatty pockets. So for later in the evening and the next day, because your body's like, we're not sure what we're going to eat again. And some people have that mentality that even though they know I can go buy myself something to eat, we eat as if this is the only meal of the day. And then when we make our children sit to the table and you're going to eat all that food, it's probably best to say, you're done. All right, put it in something, put it in the refrigerator. When you get hungry again, you got to finish this. It may be best to do them that way versus making them sit and stuff themselves full, because now we're teaching them the bad habits of not wasting food or being unhealthy for the sake of not wasting a meal.
Let me ask, how do y'all do the soursop? Because I got her some leaves.
Nasty.
Well, my brother sent her some leaves, right?
Oh,
and
so you been boiling it?
You make the tea?
You make the tea.
I would clean it up, chop it up, and then put it in
The one
water,
little, yeah.
and then boil it, and let her drink it.
Yeah.
So I was.
I put some honey in mine just because I like sweet stuff.
So
Very
that's
fun
how
stuff.
y'all do? Or y'all do it like in a pill form?
No.
So
He had the liquid form.
I have liquid soursop and I have tea soursop and I have some soursop gummies. So over the course of time that I've been on this health journey, this is what I've learned about Waylon. I can't do the same thing
All the time.
one way all the time. I'm gonna get tired of drinking this tea. I'm gonna get tired of taking this soursop liquid and putting it in something and mixing in some juice. I'm gonna get tired of that. I'm gonna get tired of always just doing gummies. But all three means I get to decide, again, controlling choices. I get to decide which one I want, what I feel like doing today. I like the tea, the soursop tea that's already ground up into little packets.
Y'all just order it over Amazon?
I order it, yeah, I order it. That for me works well because while I'm cleaning, I can put on some hot water. I even bought a little thing that you can, little steeper, and I put one in there. And if I want like some sometimes I put a little bit. If I want to switch the flavor a little bit, I'll put in some ginger. From the grocery store, I bought the tea packets of turmeric, pomegranate, and ginger, whatever that little thing is. And sometimes I'll double. It just give me a different kind of flavor. Sometimes I'll put in a little lemon, just something to kind of tweak the taste a little bit.
Yeah, a little warm lemon juice and lime. Was toxic and would mess you up, and then now they're saying
Acidic, yeah.
don't use that. YouTube done went off now.
Oh, that's
And
right.
so what I do is like I'll take me I got a bottle from Wonder, and I'll fill it with the hot water, and I'll put I put my soursop. I like hibiscus. I'll mix like 3 teas in one
Yeah, she'll do that.
thing, and then I just sit there when I eat my dinner and drink it down or drink it after dinner while I'm drinking the dinner. So it's just I'm getting it all at one time.
Right. Sometimes for me now, whereas I used to take when I juice, I would juice and put the bottles in the refrigerator, get up in the morning, grab one that has my soursop and bitters already in it with the turmeric already in it. I just shake it up and drink it on my way to work. Since it's cold and getting colder, I've been doing the soursop tea like that in the morning. And so I have a big mug. One of my students bought me a large Starbucks mug, whatever thing is. So I'll still seep my tea, make it, and put it in there, and put in a little bit of honey in it, and I'm going to work, and then I'll sip that. I try to be done with it by 11 o'clock. So that's giving me my water intake for the day. Give me about 24. I think it's like 30. I think it's a 32 ounce. So I'm getting like 30 up to 32 ounces in a day, and I'm getting soursop in. So I'm kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. But that just helps me. But sometimes I'll do the bitters. Like I just used my last little bit of bitters this morning. I'll order some more. I
Got
do.
one in the freezer.
No, that's sea moss.
Bitter is what? Bitter herb?
It's nasty.
Soursop bitter. So, well, soursop and bitter. Soursop is a fruit, which is found more, I think they more so in the Caribbean. But it's great with your inflammation, and it has properties in it that goes against cancer and all kind of things. Healthy for the body. I don't think soursop itself is nasty, but what we're getting is basically the leaves, and that you make teas from, and it has healing properties in it. And so,
I can only do a
the
shot.
fruit,
Bitters.
but it's soursop and bitters, so it's not just soursop by itself. So they kind of package it a certain way. Because when I bought just some soursop, and it was a liquid, it didn't have that bite to it. The bitters is what gives it the bite. So it's the
So do I
other
need
things.
to look up soursop and bitters or just soursop?
So it's gonna depend on
They
what
say soursop bitters.
it's gonna depend on what your mom
Because
is
serene herbs.
going to wanna
Yeah.
digest and eat. Because again, it's one thing if you're taking it for you, but if the person that, like, I wouldn't give that to anybody. The only way I would do it is if to put it in a smoothie, so you're hiding it, masking it in the midst of a bunch of other stuff that they're not quite sure what this is. Because the soursop and bitters, to its name, bitter. And it also depends on the brand you get. Like, some brands are less
worse than
bitter,
others.
worse than others. This Serene brand that I've been on right
Serene
now,
Herbs, yeah.
herbs, is really bitter. So it makes me kind of question, what was I getting before? Because at first I it ain't too bad. Put it into something and I'm good. I was in my mouth and going about my business, and still feel like I've done something. Also, when you talk to some people, I'm going to go ahead and just throw this out like this. Some people are going to say, "Oh, that's just a placebo effect." Placebo effect is not that. The placebo effect is the fact that you feel like you're getting healed, but it's not really working. The placebo effect and is good in my opinion, because it makes you feel like you're doing something positive and controlling your progress into your healing, and you're not just, and I hate to say it this way, it's gonna come across wrong, but I'm gonna say it, you're not just sitting waiting on God to heal you. For me, it's God has given me a brain and some common sense and intelligence, so I'm going to, while I believe in God for healing, if it doesn't come by the laying on the hands right here in the presbytery, maybe his move is, Waylon, you've been eating certain things that's been contaminating yourself, and you caused this situation. Now we're going to, like we ate our way in, we're going to eat our way out. So we're going to tweak things that you've been eating that's not good for you, and now we're going to do some other stuff. What's wrong? Oh,
It's slow charging.
yeah, that is a slow charger. Yeah, all of that is slow charging. So that's how I view taking the soursop, taking juicing and all of those things, because for me, it's the thing that's going to help sustain me, because I'm using the knowledge God gave. And so with some people, they talk about, well, just a placebo effect. I tend to disagree, but sometimes the placebo effect is good because you feel like you have a hand in controlling your narrative. And that is very important for a person who wants to get better, who's not just dependent upon doctors, because the doctor's going to say, well, this and this and this and this. And being able to say, okay, well, we're taking, because we're drinking this, we're drinking our teas, we're juicing, we're walking and getting some sunlight. And sometimes when it was nice outside and it's kind of warm, it's not cold, I go and put my feet in the dirt and put my feet in the grass a little bit and say, and just kind of breathe a little bit, just for the sake of going, I am being an active participant in my healing. I'm being an active participant in my body becoming better, because your body getting better is not a mystery. It's not magical. There's a science behind it. And if we do the things that the science talks about, we can aid in our healing and not be a detriment. Some doctors, again, like I said, they will prescribe things for you because they don't have confidence that you're going to actually make the changes you're sitting here saying you're going to make, which is why I always say you learn to find doctors that will work with you. It may mean he or she may say, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then let me see you again in a month and see what your progress is, which means they're holding you accountable to do what you said. My doctor said very plainly, she's like, your cholesterol is high. I want to go ahead and prescribe this. I said, well, can I just try to just quit eating French fries from Five Guys? And I was getting the large fries, and they were putting the extra in. I was eating all of that. Like, can I just cut back on my Five Guys Fridays and cut back on my Chick-fil-A and cut back on my fries and potatoes, and let's see how that works, and eat better and drink better? She said, okay. And the next year when I came back, because she didn't say it's 2 months, she's like, all right, I'll see you in a year. But if next year if it's not right, then I said, then we'll do it. She said, fine. I did what I was supposed to do. Made sure I was walking, getting my good sweat in, that kind of stuff. And the next year, my numbers were fine. So it's if you have someone that's willing to work with you, great. My situation in this last, what I call health storm I had, was just from the point of certain things had to be decided upon quickly, because I was at the place whereas it was hard to walk from my car to a door. It was hard to sleep at night, and like something got to give. And when he said the location of where the tumor was, or where the cancer was, and what it was pushing on, it's like, oh, we might got to do something with this quick. And then I'm looking at my family going, are they going to be okay while I look for other means of fixing this? And those things is what I had to weigh. And so that's what it was. So again, everybody's a little bit different, because I had somebody that said, don't take no chemo, don't take no radiation, don't do nothing. Just go ahead and just go totally vegan, go totally juice, and just that's it, nothing else. And I'm looking at them like, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And it's not because I would like, well, you do it to live. That's not the point of doing it to live. You start to get to a place where not having the knowledge, because I need to research and have the knowledge of it, and just taking someone's words, like, I ain't gonna be able to do it like that. And then after the surgery, and I was talking with someone, and they said, well, what did they tell you to do after that? Nothing. And I went, why haven't they given me any kind of dietary restrictions or
they didn't know what to do with you because you were too healthy. You were healthy,
right? But at the same time, but it made me start thinking like, wait a minute, why didn't they? Well, you think that they would have said, but then because I kept going, and they still haven't answered. Like, how did I get this? You got to know. And if you just say, must have been your diet and your eating. You must have been eating way too many sugars, way too many sweets, way too many this. This is how usually these cancers feed. And I can say, okay, maybe you don't know how it started, but this is what I did to contribute to it getting to be where it is. Oh, but I had to do my own research on that and start to see some stuff. I said, okay. Even when sitting in the hospital the first time when they were doing the heart catheter, I think it's what it's called, and they were draining, I was researching anyone else with this kind of situation, and I only found some documentations of some other elderly people who had this kind of situation where the person had their heart drained and had the fluid around the heart drained, and they were doing fine, but they never said what the cause was. And that's where I became frustrated, whereas they're not giving reasons that could cause certain things. They're just talking about treatments. And here's the success of the treatment. Person came in with this, and instead of talking about diet and exercise or genetics or whatever the case is, they just went to, this is the treatments and this and that. And I was like, okay. So you have to keep those things in mind. I also tell people, learn your body type and your blood type to know what foods help that, and if certain things could be a hindrance to that. Just because every diet, doing it exactly the way someone else did it, may not work for you. So you may have to do the diet but tweak some things. If I did a all meat diet, I'm going to be miserable. My body and my tastes are geared towards fruits and vegetables. If I got fruits and I could eat a good meal of fruits and vegetables and no meat, and for days I'd be fine. It doesn't bother me at all. Some other people feel like they gotta have something to cut. And some days my body just doesn't crave it, and when my body doesn't crave it, I don't try to force my body to eat it. And so these are just things that you start to say, okay. But I also know my body needs nutrients, my body needs vitamins, my body needs the right kind of minerals that will help it to function right. So I can't just go through life and not eat and then say, I'm going to get all of my nutrients from the food from the grocery store. I know too much. I know that all the food from the grocery store is not cooked in a way, or not cooked, not created in a way that has all the nutrients that it needs in it. It's not always the case. Sometimes they'll throw in fertilizers that might or may not have the right nutrients and minerals in it. So that's why I supplement with sea moss well, now it's just sea moss and turmeric. But if there are vitamins that I would take, sometimes I'll go say, hey, let me go get this liquid vitamin and add it to the mix of what I'm doing, just to make sure I'm getting what I need. And then when my body goes, okay, that's too much, I'll back off of the vitamin, that kind of thing. But it's just listening to your body and giving it what it needs at the moment.
Yeah, and see, I give my daddy moringa too. He don't know. I just put it, I put in his medicines. I put it in with his medicine. He take it every day.
Liquid or?
It's
the pill
pills,
form.
the pill form. I give him moringa and the GLP supplements. I'm kind of like taking him off of the doctor's medicine and kind of getting him on the supplements so he can, like yesterday he kept calling me talking about come boost off the lawnmower, and I was like, but Daddy, you got your own truck right there, boost the lawnmower off on your own. I need Waylon help. Well, why you think you need Waylon help if I said Waylon gone? Waylon ain't trying to come back no time soon.
He knew where I went. I told him where I was going. So I'm going to get him
Going
some
to take
lunch.
a girl get something to eat.
And I went to Bluff Road to go look at a dishwasher. And it's like, and I'll be back about 2:30, so I can get your truck, so I can take these appliances to the dumpster. So he knew, but then I started to recognize, okay, something, he's been working a little bit too hard, he's tired. Because he's hearing, but he ain't comprehending, like something's off. So at that point, I went back, and I said, I thought you needed to jump. He was like, no, I got it running. I said, okay. And then he ran out of gas. Because I came up the road.
Out the lawnmower, out the truck.
Out the lawnmower. And then he said his other truck needed gas. So I took him to the gas station, his tank and my tank, filled it up with gas, filled mine up with gas, used mine to fill up for the lawnmower. He taking his back to his house for the other truck. And I'm like, ain't no gas in it. I was like, well, you ain't got no gas. I was like, okay. He must not, either, send up all his money, or he
been swiping the card left and right.
Right. He spent up all his money. Now he ain't got no gas, and he don't want to deal with Shell. It's like he don't want to deal with Shell, so he trying to wait till next week. I said, okay. But again, it's the, all right, you need to go get some rest and do what you need to do. It's fine, because YouTube is still on.
I said,
I thought about, she was doing the south side. She hadn't done it